Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Erica Illustrated, where we talk about sports and everything sports related. And man, we had two games today, man. The Clippers played the Jazz, and the Hawks played the 76ers, man. But the first game we'll talk about is the Hawks and the 76ers, man. That came down to the wire. That game was good, man. And the Trae Young had 18 assists and 25 points, but individual like shooting, he wasn't that, you know, good, But I feel like if Joel Embiid, he had a little injury or whatever, but if he would have stayed, I feel like they could have pulled that W out. He did come back and play, but he was playing through an injury, and that's not, you don't want your players to be doing that because you're not gonna be 100% on the court. He still had like 30 something though, 30 something points, but that's pretty good. And Ben Simmons, before we talk about Ben Simmons, Seth Curry had a good game. If he would have hit that buzzer beater, oh my gosh, that would have been that game would have been like, that game was already top tier. That game would be even more like fire, bro. If he would hit that buzzer beater, just send it to overtime. And Ben Simmons, I just need Ben Simmons to get a jump shot, bro. That's all I'm asking. Because like the disrespect Ben Simmons get when he's behind the 3-point line is crazy. Like they don't even contest no more. They back up into the paint and just let him, do him. He's not going to pull a midi. He's trying to get a layup or a floater. Ben Simmons gotta get that shot going, bro. Like that's in my opinion, that's the only way the 76ers will be a real championship contender if Ben Simmons gets a jump shot, because he's not a threat from 3-point line. And nowadays you kind of have to be a threat from 3-point line to even be successful in the league, in my opinion. But yeah, and I'm Seth Curry. He gets overshadowed by his brother a lot, but he's been doing amazing in the playoffs, bro. He's been doing this thing in the playoffs, and proud of him, because everybody look at Steph, but then Steph, people don't look at him like that, But he's a hooper. And let's just talk about the Hawks. So 3 people on the Hawks had a double. Trae Young had 25 and 18. Clint Capella had, I want to say, 15 and 13, something like that, 12. John Collins had like 17 and 13. But yeah, it felt like John Collins had more than that. And I feel like John Collins had like 25. He was getting put back dunks, and like John Collins really brought the energy to the team with the dunks he was doing. They weren't like no flashy, crazy dunks, but like even dunks on like getting extra points on possessions that it was a miss, and he came to get a putback. Like that gives the team energy and give the crowd energy, and the crowd feeding into it, so the players gonna get energetic with him. And Trae Young, he didn't have a good 3-point shooting night individually. He was 9 for 26, but he was facilitating. Mostly his passes was alleys. I couldn't even get the word out. It was alleys, but yeah, most of them was alleys. But at the same time, he was still facilitating the ball, getting his teammates open shots. Like he was doing good, and I think that's what he's doing that made him get that dope, was facilitating, because we all know Trae Young is a scorer. He's gonna score the ball, but when he having a off night, which is his off night is not even really off. Like his 3-pointers be off that night, but he still finds a way to score. But if he's facilitating good and he's scoring, but he's not shooting threes, and he's still facilitating the ball, getting people open, they're gonna win. Even if he is having an off night, but if he having an on night, he's still doing that. That's even more of a W, And yeah, and they was doing good. Now John Collins, I know I talked about him already, but I just want to talk about him again, because like John Collins was a big part of that W tonight, bro. He was a humongous part of that W. Him, I can't forget about Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter was a big part of that W too. Kevin Huerter with the little dribble, like he was solid. His 3-point, he did okay. His 3-point shooting night was alright. And I'm missing somebody. Bogdanovich, I think. That's his name, right? It's so many. It's 2 of them. One play for the Jazz, and the other one play for the Hawks. Yeah. Yeah, I think Bojan played for Bojan played for the Hawks. Bodan played for the Jazz, if I'm not mistaken. But he had a good night too, man. And he was he was hooping also. Both of the Bogdanovich, I thought they was brothers, but they're not. Both of them hoop. Both of them has talent, you know. But he was a big part of that Hawks W too. And Lou Will came and played in late minutes, got him a couple of like nice little jumpers in, and yeah, like that game was very very entertaining. So if you didn't watch, I recommend you watch the highlights. It's still entertaining. I'm pretty sure it's still entertaining if you watch the highlights. But yeah, so let's transition to the next game: the Jazz versus the 76ers. The Jazz versus the Clippers. All right, for one, none of the stars really had a good shooting night. They had a lot of points, but not a good shooting night. In the field goal stats was not good. Like you had 9 for 26s. Like people going like it wasn't that really good, you know. But they still had high points. But like Paul George, he his field goal percentage was not high either, but he still was hooping. He still, you know, Paul George had a nice some little posterizers, putbacks I should say, and he was doing his thing, you know. And I feel like Paul George gets so much hate now. For one, he used to be one of the most loved people, but over time, people just started to dislike him because of playoff or pandemic P. You know, he's not. They say he don't perform. He's been performing this round and the previous round. He's been doing pretty good. You know, no hate to him. You know, because he's doing his thing. And Kawhi with the poster. Kawhi with the poster. Kawhi's getting more like, I don't want to say flashy, but like he's playing like he's kind of getting more flashy. Back in the San Antonio days, he wasn't doing things like that. He wasn't really, you know, flashy with it or taunting people or, you know, stuff like that. But Kawhi, yeah, I like that Kawhi. We need to see more of that Kawhi. That Kawhi hoop. He had 31 also alongside Paul George, and they was doing their thing. Paul George hitting the threes. Kawhi, he got his shot blocked a couple times by Rudy Gobert, but that's Rudy Gobert. He does Rudy Gobert things. But yeah, impact players. And another person I want to talk about on the Clippers is Marcus Morris Sr. His 3-point shot was, amazing. I'm talking about he was stroking the three. Like, he wasn't missing. Like, every time I feel like he took a shot, it was going in. That's how he was shooting. Like, Marcus Morris Sr., he was really, really shooting, bro. Like, and that's another reason why they was ahead so much, you know, because the Jazz just could never get in the game. Like, they could never just get back in it. It's like when they went down when they went down early on, they just couldn't get back in the game. Couldn't get back in the game. Dang. These are one takes. I do this one take, you know, so I be messing up. But yeah, so like he couldn't get back in it. They couldn't get back in the game, even though it was some calls on Donovan Mitchell that questionable that could have been fouls, you know, but they didn't call it because it's the NBA, it's the playoffs. They didn't call it, so. But Donovan Mitchell still had a nice, a good night, but terrible shooting night. Yeah, and then Donovan Mitchell, he was hitting threes too, you know. He was pulling 30-foot shots, you know. Donovan Mitchell was doing Donovan Mitchell things also. But what I like about this series is it's very gritty. Like that possession when Donovan Mitchell and Patrick Beverley was fighting for the ball, nobody wanted to let it go. They played past the whistle. I like that. That's what an NBA playoff game should look like. People fighting for the ball, and nobody got personal, took it serious, or tried to fight each other. It's basketball, you know. And I just feel like the Jazz just gotta find ways to get back in the game, bro. Like Joe Ingles had a good night, good shooting night. Joe Ingles had 22, I want to say. He was hooping. And the other Bogdanovich, Bodan, had a good night too. He had an amazing night. Rudy Gobert had an okay night. He didn't have the points, you know, because he's not really offensive, but he's becoming more offensive. But he had, on defense, he was okay, you know. But he could have been better, you know. I feel like if he had more points, they could have won. They would have won if he put like 20, you know. Like how they was playing against who they played last series. Who did they play last series? The was it is that the Grizzlies? Oh, they got it. They had to be the Grizzlies. I don't know. I forgot. But yeah, he was hooping, man. He was the Jazz overall didn't have a bad game. It was just like the Clippers was that much better. Like they was playing that much better. The threes is what really what set them aside because when the game first started, the Jazz they was 1 for 7 from 3, and the Jazz are a good shooting team. They just could not hit shots. They couldn't hit. They was hitting some threes, but they weren't hitting many threes as the Clippers. Like, cause the Clippers, Marcus Morris Sr. I don't know where he's getting his shooting ability from. He's never been a terrible shooter, but like the way he was shooting tonight, you thought he was a Curry brother. Like he was really hooping. You know, and yeah, and I'm just excited to see what Game 5 look like. And I know one thing I missed from one thing I did not talk about from the Hawks in the 76ers game was the Hawks were down 18 at one point in time, and I just want to know the run that they went on late in the third quarter. That run is what really set them up for the win. I got to revert back to this game because I forgot to say this. But like the 76ers started to choke. They started to choke. Trae Young was passing the ball. Trae Young was hitting threes. John Collins was energizing the team. All this, and they just couldn't get it together. Like the 76ers couldn't get nothing together. Like they was hitting some shots with the run that they went on. Took them on to the finish line. Through the finish line, bro. Now, that was an amazing game. Like that was one of the better games. Yeah, and I'm just excited to see the games for tomorrow, you know, and I hope Kevin Durant can do this. But it's not about KD right now. This is about the games we saw today. Both of the games we saw today, they was pretty good games. I can't be mad about either one. I feel like they were good games, you know. It was not too many calls going on. Some calls flew under the radar that should have been calls, but they didn't call it, you know. But I like the way that the series are going right now, both of them. And I feel like I don't want to say predictions. I don't want to give out my predictions, but if the Clippers keep playing how they playing, they might be out of here, you know, with a dub. And the Hawks and the Jazz, I said the Jazz. Hawks and the 76ers, I don't know who's going to win that one. That's a nail biter. Because either side can have an awful night, and that's a L. But either side have a good night, that's a W. Both of them have good nights. You don't know who's going to win. I feel like that series is more even than the Jazz and the Clippers. The Jazz are a good team. It's just they're not, I don't know. They're not, it's 2-2 now. So I can't say they've been playing terrible, but I just feel like the Hawks and the 76ers games are just more entertaining to watch. You know, Kawhi's doing, Kawhi things, but yeah, but I think that's gonna do it for this video, man. It was 2 games today, you know, so I think this video is shorter than the other one. I don't know, it probably is. I think it is, but it's okay. That's gonna do it for this video, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. I'm ready. And on the other note, I'm gonna say this: I'm ready for this NFL season and college football season, bro. This is finna be fire. It's finna be fire. It's gonna be fire. I can't wait to give my takes on football. You know, I'm ready for y'all to see that. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I know I said it already, but I love each and every one of y'all. If y'all want to see more content with me, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Follow your dreams. Don't let nobody tell you no. See y'all in the next one. Peace.